Hello, once more, everyone. Welcome back to my channel back here on YouTube, doing my Week 5 NFL prediction videos after a 5-2 week last week in Week 4 and a 5-2 week 2 weeks ago in week number 2. Two of the first 4 weeks, I went 5-2, improving to 16-12 on the year after 5-2 last week. Looks like it's going to be an interesting games this week, some fun games, with another good one in London between 2 3-1 teams, which is going to be really interesting to see who wins that one coming up on Sunday morning, and the rest all during the Sunday afternoon. I don't have the Thursday night game or the Monday night or the Sunday night games to pick from this week, but I have some really interesting matchups that I've looked at for this week, for Week 5. With that being said, let's get into my NFL prediction videos for week number 5 for the 2022 NFL season. So I just center things up here, fix it up, get ready to go. Well, I'm almost ready. There we go. There are helmets, the Giants and the Packers. First one coming in from London, England. I like this matchup this week for a few reasons. A, it's the Packers and Giants. And B, the Packers and Giants are really good teams. Both come in at 3-1. The Giants, Daniel Jones, last week against the Bears just on Sunday 2 days ago, literally. He got hurt in the game, went out. Tyrod Taylor, an 11-year veteran, came in, played quarterback. He left with a concussion or head or neck injury of some sort, and Daniel Jones had to come back in. From there, they went with Saquon Barkley for a few drives, snapping the ball, taking the snap out of the backfield, handing it off the backup running back, Matt Breida. Instead, Daniel Jones played late in the game. The Bears just couldn't handle the Giants last week, and the Bears lost 20-12 last week. I got that game wrong, sadly. But the Packers, 3-1. I got that game correct with the Packers winning against New England. This time around, they're in London. Giants and Packers in London, England. This matchup looks like a fun matchup to see. Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones. Giants have Saquon Barkley. Giants have wide receivers they can find. Packers, Aaron Rodgers. He has running backs and A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, who are his top 2 players in the backfield. The running back has his tight ends, Robert Tonyan, and a few other tight ends there for the Packers. Question is, the young wide receivers, when will Randall Cobb, the veteran, get going, and when will the rest of the wide receiver group, the young rookies, start playing good? Because I have 2 rookies in the wide receiver position for the Packers. But I think Aaron Rodgers can handle this matchup against the Giants. He's been against the Giants before. The one time it's been really interesting for him, Aaron Rodgers against the Giants, was the playoffs when Eli Manning won it in Green Bay to go to Super Bowl 46. And I think not to go to Super Bowl 42 in Glendale, Arizona, back all the way in 07, 08. That was when Brett Favre was quarterback. But the Giants, Eli Manning also won in the divisional round the year they went to the Super Bowl 46 and beat the Patriots. And the Giants won that way. But this one's in London. This matchup's going to be interesting to see from a team standpoint. I think the Packers are a good team. I like the Packers on all levels of this matchup. I think the Giants might have some issues this week going against the Packers. Rodgers is just too good of a quarterback. He was MVP twice. So I'm going to take the Packers in this matchup here on Sunday in London. With that being said, come back over the pond to the United States of America with our matchup on Sunday. Our first matchup Sunday afternoon between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. So storylines, I think, in this matchup would have to be backup quarterbacks. We know Joe Flacco has been in starting for Zach Wilson this season so far, and Tua Tagovailoa out with the injury in concussion protocol. No when he's going to return. Dolphins, though, 3-1. Jets coming in 2-2. This is a matchup the Dolphins have to go on the road to in New York. It's going to be interesting to see how the Dolphins handle going to New York on a road trip for a second week in a row. And I don't know who the backup quarterback is for the Dolphins at all this year at the moment, but whoever starts a quarterback for the Dolphins, I don't know who the Dolphins are going to have to start a quarterback. I know they have wide receivers Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and a few other receivers on the team, and a few other good players. The Jets, Joe Flacco, he has some rookies behind him. Breece Hall from Iowa State. He has a few other running backs. He has some wide receivers that I don't even know some of their names, sadly. The Jets are that kind of team. You don't know the names for players. But the New York Jets, they look like a team that could be interesting to see this week. This matchup looks like it's going to be an interesting matchup to watch Sunday afternoon. But I'm going to take Joe Flacco and the Jets. I'm going to say they upset they upset the Dolphins at home this week. With the Dolphins starting a backup quarterback, who knows how the Dolphins are going to handle it at 3-1. I think the Jets do something good this week at home against the Dolphins. Go 3-2. They'll both be tied for the division lead after this week. So I'm taking the Jets, which moves us on to our next matchup in Buffalo, New York. Up north in Buffalo. Between Josh Allen and his Bills against Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh Steelers fans are very happy that Mitch Trubisky is no longer starting. And the Bills, Josh Allen, the team I picked to win the Super Bowl 57 this year, looks like an interesting team to watch. Bills are good. They have a good defense. Their offense can play good. They got to win in Baltimore over the weekend on the road and won. The Bills and Steelers, this matchup looks like a matchup that could be two good teams this matchup. Kenny Pickett, starting for the Steelers, I think, going into his first career start. In Week 5 coming up, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup this week for him. I think it's going to be a little hard for Kenny Pickett to get a win against the Bills. I think Josh Allen has Stephon Diggs. He has running backs in the backfield, and Devin Singletary, and a few other running backs as well. But Stephon Diggs and Dawson Knox at tight end. The Bills are too good. Their defense, Von Miller and other defenders. The Bills are too good of a team. This is the team I like to win Super Bowl 57, like I said. And I think it's going to happen this year at this moment. But it's hard telling, because those predictions could be wrong. But all the media picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl 57 this year, saying they're the favorite team. And I'm agreeing with that for now. But the Steelers, Kenny Pickett, can he have a good game? Find his young wide receivers. And Steelers have young wide receiver rookies. Can Kenny Pickett find those players? Can the running backs play hard? I don't know. I think going to Buffalo, it's going to be hard for them to do that. I'm going to take the Bills over the Steelers on Sunday. Going with the home team so far this week. Trending that way with home teams as we move on to our next matchup in Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio, our next matchup. And this one's between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Cleveland Browns. Browns, surprisingly, 2-2. The whole AFC East is one of those divisions where it's jumbled up. I mean, the AFC North is one of those divisions where it's jumbled up. They're all 2-2, sitting at 500. No one really wants to take a clear. No team really wants to take a chance and go for wins every week. It's just a division that's very hard and very confusing. The Browns do. Yeah. Jacoby Brissett as starter has been done so far, 2-2 so far as starter. And then the Chargers, Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Chargers sitting down near third place in the division in the AFC West. And this division's kind of tight. Justin Herbert, I think, is going to have has a good team. Has Austin Eckler and a few other players. Has a defense that's interesting to see. But the Chargers, they also have some receivers that are interesting to see too. Browns, they also have the same storyline. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, running backs are the two main running backs they have in Cleveland. Other players, I don't really know who's in the wide receiver room for the Browns. Amari Cooper, he came in from Dallas. That's the only player I know of in this matchup. But this matchup, I think, is going to be hard to predict. I feel like if I predict one team, a home team again, it's going to be hard. But the Chargers, I think, might be a better team than Cleveland. Jacoby Brissett, he has career starts. He's started before. I think the Chargers are the team to pick in this matchup here on Sunday. Sadly. Sorry, Cleveland Browns fans. Moving on to Minnesota. Between the Bears, my first favorite team, the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields and the Bears, going up to Minnesota. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. Vikings coming off a big win overseas in London. Come back to play the Bears on Sunday. This matchup's going to be an interesting matchup in Week 5. only because the Bears are 2-2. Justin Fields has a bad offensive line. Cody Whitehair's out with a knee injury, I heard today on the news, and I heard Cody Whitehair's out for a while with a knee injury. Don't know a timetable, no timetable at all. Vikings, Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, they're a better team, 3-1. Tied for first, they are in first place. They beat the Packers, so the Vikings are a better team in the NFC North this year. Is it their year to win the NFC North? I have no idea. But I do know this the little birdie that told me that the Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins isn't the best quarterback. But I can tell you a stat. Kirk Cousins is not, when it comes to playing games on Monday Night Football, he's under 500. When it comes to playing games that are not on Monday Night Football, he's above 500 record. So, and it's not Monday night, it's a Sunday afternoon. With that being said, I like the Vikings in this matchup because I don't like the Bears that much in this matchup. Vikings seem like the better team, but I'm sticking with the Vikings over the Bears. Moving on to Tampa Bay for our second to last matchup. Buccaneers and Tom Brady after a loss to the Chiefs against the Falcons. And the Falcons and Buccaneers, two teams, 2-2 in the NFC South. Both up there pretty good, 2 wins apiece. Or 1 win apiece. I don't forget. I think the Buccaneers might have 1 win actually. Because they did lose to Green Bay, they lost to Kansas City. And they beat Dallas. Both teams are 2-2. Their Falcons are in first place in the division. So the Buccaneers, you can basically say they're tied. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, I like the Buccaneers in this matchup only because Tom Brady has weapons at wide receiver. The Falcons, they're a team that I don't know anyone on the Falcons this year. It's one of those teams that I don't know their identity. What are they? It's like they're anonymous to me. So I like Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in this matchup because they're playing at home against the Falcons, and Tom Brady has dominated Atlanta since he's went to the NFC South and joined the Buccaneers. So go with the Buccaneers and Tom Brady in this matchup. Last but not least, our seventh and final matchup of the day to predict this week. For week 5, the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray coming in on a good note, not at the bottom, and the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. And now this matchup, the Eagles have been the team this year to believe in. From being in first place at 4-0, being the last remaining unbeaten team, to being the team that goes into Arizona, who's 2-2 on the road, and playing in Arizona on Sunday. It's a matchup I kind of like. And let me point this out. This matchup is not one I would want to dream of if I'm a football fan, but it's just a matchup I want to see and watch coming up on Sunday. Eagles at 4-0 against the Cardinals at 2-2. Jalen Hurts has a lot of good players this year. The Eagles are better. Second year in the head coach Nick Sirianni has a good team after making the playoffs as a wild card last year. They're going to win this division this year, most likely, but they still have Dallas coming up, who's 3-1 in a few weeks. They have other 3-1 teams as well out there. But I like the road team, the Eagles, in this one. And I feel like, by picking the Eagles, I just feel like I'm jinxing myself right now with this pick. But I think the Eagles can do it and go 5-0. I think the story of unbeaten Philadelphia Eagles will continue this week, as I think they'll go 5-0 in the matchup. With that being said, a quick recap for my Week 5 picks. Starting off in London with the Packers and Giants, I'm going with the Packers. In New York with the Jets and Dolphins, I'm going with Joe Flacco, the backup quarterback from the Jets, against the Dolphins. Whoever they start at backup quarterback, I don't know who that's going to be. I'm picking Joe Flacco on the Jets. In Buffalo, for the Steelers and Bills, Kenny Pickett's first start for Pittsburgh against the Bills and Josh Allen. I'm taking Josh Allen and the Bills over the Steelers and Kenny Pickett in his first career start. In Cleveland, the Browns, Jacoby Brissett, and the Chargers, Justin Herbert. I like the Chargers and Justin Herbert in this matchup because the Chargers have better team than the Browns. They have, I don't know, like 4 main players, the 2 running backs and Marty Cooper, and their quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, but I like the Chargers in this matchup. In Minnesota, I'm thinking the Vikings and Kirk Cousins over the Bears and Justin Fields. Sadly, with the Bears' offensive line woes. I don't like them, and their defensive woes as well. I don't like the Bears in this matchup. I'm sick of the Vikings. In Tampa Bay, between Tom Brady and the Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons, and whoever, I don't even know who the Falcons have. They're an anonymous team to me. I'm taking the Buccaneers in this matchup. And last in Glendale, Arizona, coming up in the late afternoon game on Sunday afternoon. The 4-0 Eagles go to Arizona to travel, take on the 2-2 Arizona Cardinals. This matchup, I'm going with the Eagles to go 5-0, and I feel like I'm jinxing myself with it. But I'm going to believe in the Eagles for what they're doing at 4-0. I'm thinking to go 5-0 this week. With that being said, I hope everyone enjoyed today's NFL prediction video. With that being said, please remember to watch, like, subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends to do the same if they're not done so already. And please also hit that notification button below so you know when I upload a new video. With that being said, have a nice day and stay safe. And also, don't forget to tell me who your favorite team is playing and if you think they're going to win. With that being said, have a nice day and stay safe. And I'll see you in the next NFL prediction video next week. So stay tuned.